Hello, welcome to this video of Unitronics, where we'll be teaching you how to program a button and light onto a PLC. First, we're going to open the Unitronics software. Once it's open, we're going to make a new file and name it Lights and Buttons. Once you click Next, it will ask you to select a controller. I am going to select the 15.6-inch panel because that is the unit we have on hand. So this is what it looks like. Now, we're going to check and see that our panel is connected. As you can see, there is connectivity through the USB cable that was provided to us. Now, I pass it on to my fellow classmate, Nivardo.
Now for the button part. You click and drag the button from the right side of the tool section. Going back into the tool section, if you scroll down, you can see a tag that says Image Elements. Bring the drop-down menu and choose Binary Image Variable. Binary image variable is used because there's no real lights in the PLCs, so we're going to drag and import lights ourselves. If you go back to the button, you could rename this button button 1. Going back to the image variable, you click on image source. You see ones and zeros. 0 is off, 1 is on. If you click the 3 dots under Unitronics, there's a folder called Unipix. If you go down, there's another folder called Lights and Lamps. Click that and choose whatever you want your off color to be and whatever you want your on button to be. Once you have them both, click close. Then you go to your tag link. You open that and you name the link. We'll rename it Light Output 1. Save it. Now you go back to the buttons, create a new action for the button. Sorry about that. We're going to set the bit to toggle. On the empty, we're going to put light output 1, which is the one we just made. And the trigger is going to stay as press. Once that's made, you go to your ladder logic, where you will program the button. We're going to drag in the direct contact, which is normally open as our input, then direct coil as our output. And once again, on the empty links, the red ones, you're going to click them and put in light output 1, which is the one we just made. Once that's done, you can go to the top left corner, click download, download all, and the button should be working on your PLC set.
There you go. Awesome. You can stop it now. So now I'm going to do the second one.
Now that we're done with light 1, we'll be moving to light 2. It would be inverted, so what you could do is just copy that light that we just made and paste it right next to it. Since we copied and paste, most of it will be the same. So make sure you go back to the light, rename this light, and we'll rename this light output 2 since it's the second one. Now go back to that button and rename the button to button 2. which is fairly simple. Now if you go into actions, we're gonna change that action. Instead of light output 1, change it to light output 2, because it's that number 2. Now we're gonna go to the ladder logic. We'll be programming. You get the inverted coil from the right hand side. And then we're gonna go with the inverted coil. On the empty links, just like the other button, we're gonna put light output 2. Make sure you put 2 and not 1. And once that's done, you can click download and make sure you download all.
All right. Alright guys, this is Johnny here taking over. For the next light, we're going to create an on and off button. We're going to drag 2 more buttons over from the toolbox. And what we're going to do, just to save time, is copy and paste the light. Alright, so once that's done, since we copied and paste, we're going to rename it Light Output 3. Go ahead and hit that save button. Once we rename the light, we're going to click the first button and then rename it to on button. Okay, so now create new action and we're going to make it set bit to light output 3. Once you got it typed in, go ahead and hit that close button. And now click the second button and rename it to the off button. Alright, we're going to create a new action button and this is going to reset light output 3. Go ahead and close it. So once we're done, we're going to move on to ladder logic. Go ahead and scroll down. And for the ladder logic, we're going to use a direct contact again. We're going to put a second contact because one is going to turn it on and you guessed it, the other is going to turn it off. Then we're going to bring a direct coil for our output. And then we're going to change the tags to light output 3. We're going to connect 2 contacts in parallel. Alright guys, so once that's all done, let's go ahead and download it all into the PLC. And booyah.
No, because I
Turns
think stock
everything
K8 made out of
Off button turns everything off.
Okay guys, our next light is going to be the same as the one we just made. So just as before, we can copy and paste the light and buttons. Alright, again, since we copy and paste it, we're going to have to rename everything. So once we're all set, we're going to change the buttons to on button 2 and off button 2. So we know it's the second set. Now click the light and we're going to rename it to light output 4. Go ahead and hit that save button. Alright, so going back to the button, we got to go into the actions and change the tag to light output 4. Smash that close button real quick. Right. Let's backtrace in a little bit. Alright guys, time to move on to ladder logic. Alright, so this time we're going to be using a positive transition contact, which gives one pulse from off to on. We're also going to use a set of coil which stays energized until reset. Alright, so the next net, we're going to be using a negative transition contact, which is just like the positive, but just opposite from on to off. We're also going to use a reset coil, which resets the system. Alright guys, you did it. Now, go ahead and download it and test.
Push it on. Use a hoover. And you push it on. Turns everything on. You push it off. Reset. Okay guys, so for the next light, we're gonna bring a button from the toolbox. And we're gonna copy and paste the light again, just to save time once again. So, remember, since we copied and pasted, we want to rename it. So we're going to rename it to light output 5. Then you can hit save. So going to the button, we're going to rename this button toggle button. Just like that. Okay, so we're going to scroll up in the properties window and we are going to make a new action. So we want this action to toggle bit and we want it to toggle our light output 5. And the trigger is going to stay as press. So moving on to the ladder function. So we're going to scroll down so we can see the set bit 6. So this time, again, we're going to use a positive transition contact because we want to know when the button's pressed and just press one time. So we're going to tag it to light output 5. And then we're also going to use a set coil and a reset coil, just like before. So since we can't set and reset at the same time, we're going to use a direct contact and an inverted contact to determine whether we want to set or reset the function. So we're going to bring in the direct contact. Oops, it's supposed to be on the other side. And we're going to bring in our inverted contact. And again, remember, we want to link them up to a light output 5. And once we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and press download all. When you press it, it sets it. Everything's at 1, remember? Okay, and we press it. Turns everything back off. Cool. Moving on to the next button. So we're going to use the exact same button. So like before, we're going to copy and paste to make things easier. And then we're going to go to our toggle button. No, we're going to go to the light button. And remember, since we copied and pasted again, we're going to rename it to light output 6. And then we're going to go to our toggle button, and I'm going to rename it to toggle button 2, just so I know it's a second button. We're going to go up to the actions and we're going to change it. So we're going to have it set a light input, light button 6, and we're gonna have it reset the light button 6. Oh, don't forget to press the blue pencil to make sure it's a tag. Awesome. So, moving on to the ladder function. Again, we're going to use a positive transition contact, but this time we're going to use a toggle coil. And the toggle coil does the same function as the 4 output network we used for the last button, the one with the direct contact, the inverted contact, the set coil, and the reset coil. So make sure you link them to the tag.
So essentially the toggle button's kind of like
download all.
an inverted contact coil. So there you go. Okay.
This project was for Calstera Lay's Tech 4760, Dr. Blekhman's class. We want to thank John from Unitronics for helping in this section. This video was brought to you by Fredy Jandres, Jesus Martinez, Johnny Tovalin, Josie Vazquez, and Nivardo Zuzuarregui.